It says nothing about illegal. So cut the crap, Kristen Welker. You're a good person, but you're wrong on this.
There are a few certainties in this life. The sun rises in the east and it sets in the west. Most of them are that kind of a thing. There are a few, though, that lie outside of the bounds of science. And that is that MAGA world is going to worship at the throne of Donald Trump, and Fox News is going to do its best. And people who have surrendered all dignity that they once possessed or once hoped to possess, they have just jettisoned in service to a man who has somehow captured the attention and the admiration and the worship of the group of people in the United States who possess the least intellectual curiosity of all of us. And Fox News works in absolute service to Donald Trump, even when it means surrendering their expertise, having the people who were once judges and experts on the law. I'm using these terms very loosely here because we're talking about their resident drunkard, Jeanine Pirro. It's just baffling to me that people are willing to absolutely just prostrate themselves before Donald Trump and agree with the things that he proposes that are clearly generationally wrong, just obviously on their face, self-evidently wrong. And yesterday, Jeanine Pirro on The Five went off on this rant about the Fifth Amendment to the United States Constitution, something that is so easy to fact check, so easy to refute. And she, with all of the confidence of a Trump supporter that she could muster, tells, so cut the crap, you're wrong on this, communicating that the Fifth Amendment does not provide for due process, does not protect the right to due process of people, whether they be illegal, whether they be whatever term you want to throw at it. That's what she's trying to convince you of. We're going to play this clip. We're going to read through the Fifth Amendment. And then she had some other dumb shit to say.
Okay, a couple of thoughts. She says that the Fifth Amendment requires it. So, of course, I pull out, I carry this in my purse all the time. I don't know why. I think someday I'll be arrested or something. I'll take it out. Fifth Amendment is about a grand jury. It's about double jeopardy. It's about a person not being compelled to be a witness against himself, and you cannot be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process. It says nothing about illegal. So cut the crap, Kristen Welker. You're a good person, but you're wrong on this. That's number one.
You got all that, right? Those are the things that the Fifth Amendment is about, as she so eloquently and expertly put it. This is what it's about. Here's the Fifth Amendment, right? No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on presentment or indictment of a grand jury, except in cases arising in land or naval forces or in the militia when in actual service in time of war or public danger, right? Nor shall any person, not citizen, not American, not white straight male, not white straight male and white straight lady. No. Person, human being. Anyone who resides within the borders of the United States of America is entitled to due process. Here we go. Nor shall any person be subject for the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy of life or limb. That's double jeopardy. Nor shall be compelled, still the same person we're talking about, nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against him or herself, himself here, the Constitution written hundreds of years ago. So that's self-incrimination. That's the you cannot be compelled to testify against yourself. Nor shall any person be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. So what was it she said? So cut the crap, you're wrong on this. Judge Jeanine Pirro. Again, I do not understand embarrassing yourself, just broadcasting to the world that you don't mind being looked upon as a dumb shit, as someone who is just flatly, plainly, self-evidently wrong. I don't get it. I want to be as right as I can about as many things as I can be. A lot of it takes some research. I don't know in the moment. I got to go look it up. I got to pour through some sources to find out. Check my biases, as there are many, to make sure that I'm bringing the most accurate information possible. That's not how it works in MAGA world. You have to twist yourself into a pretzel to say things that are, again, self-evidently wrong in order that your views line up with the dear leaders. This is cult shit, is what this is. The Fifth Amendment clearly, self-evidently states, no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. So cut the crap. You're wrong, Judge Jeanine Pirro. She had more to say. Doesn't get any better. Watch this.
But then on this whole thing of Abrego Garcia, I went back and I read the Supreme Court decision again. They are interpreting it when she said, isn't he entitled to due process? Abrego Garcia was entitled, according to the Supreme Court, to be facilitated in his return only because there was a withholding order and he shouldn't have been deported because of the withholding order. Okay, because he's MS-13 and they'll kill him with the other gang. So let's be clear about this. The Supreme Court never said in a Abrego Garcia case that due process is required for illegals. Can they get an immigration hearing? Probably, but that doesn't mean they go to court, and we can't possibly do it. 20 million, we can't even get through trials in this country, and speedy trial is a reason a lot of defendants get out of jail, because we can't even give the citizens trials.
I don't know.
Can they get an immigration hearing? Probably, but that doesn't mean they go to court. Then where does this immigration hearing take place, Judge Jeanine Pirro? Is it out in the middle of a river, in a field, in a restaurant somewhere, maybe in the lobby of a hotel? Where, pray tell, does this immigration hearing, this court hearing take place? It's a court presided over by a judge. Where does it happen, Judge? I mean, look, it is not funny as in, oh, ha ha, so hilarious that this is taking place, because it's sad and tragic. And we are watching fascism come to power in the United States. We're in the beginning stages of this. Look, before Hitler was Hitler was Adolf Hitler. He was just Adolf Hitler. And it took him years to amass the power and influence to be able to undertake the task of genocide and the crimes against humanity that ultimately he did commit. But in the early days, and that's where we are, we're in the early days of fascism in the United States of America, things were a little softer, a little different than concentration camps, which they are proposing right now to open up internment camps in the Midwest at our southern border. Sending, deporting, exiling, disappearing, whatever you want to say, both undocumented immigrants, migrants, but also American citizens. They've already sent children with cancer who are American citizens out of this country to a nation they've never stepped foot in. Early days. And Judge Jeanine Pirro is here for it. She's here to support the effort. What do you think? I would love to know what you are thinking about this. You can comment below. You can also call the voicemail line, 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me daily@dollemore.com. Please consider supporting this work. If you're into it, become a channel member, go to my Patreon page. All those are great ways. Follow me on social media. I'm at Dollemore, and I will see you next time. Until then, be genuine and take care of one another.